evening, you're watching Just the News. I'm Amita Balachandra. We're going to start off with the Delhi demolition drive. After halting the demolition drive in Jahangirpuri, the Supreme Court today has said, and I quote, will take a serious view of all demolitions that took place after the Supreme Court decision was communicated to the mayor, end quote. Now, there were reports that demolitions were taking place despite the Supreme Court asking the municipal corporation to maintain status quo. Now, to give you a bit of a context, the area saw 7 bulldozers on orders of the BJP-led North Delhi Municipal Corporation raise parts of several structures, including the exterior gate of a place of worship yesterday. Now, this incidentally comes after communal clashes that took place on Saturday, which saw at least 8 policemen who were injured in the violence between two groups that took place on Saturday. Post that, there was this anti-encroachment drive, and of course there were reports that the demolition went on for almost 2 hours despite the Supreme Court's directions asking the corporation to maintain status quo. Today the Supreme Court has said that they will take a serious view of all the demolitions that has taken place between that period as well. Meanwhile, the National Commission for Minorities will submit a report to the central government on the communal violence that took place in Delhi's Jahangirpuri area on the 16th of April and seek necessary action. This is according to PTI, where chairperson of the National Commission for Minorities has said that that is going to happen. Moving on from the story now, Gujarat MLA Jignesh Mevani has been arrested. He was arrested last night by Assam police for allegedly spreading enmity between communities on social media. Now, his aide, Suresh Chhat, has told PTI, and I quote, as per a document shared by the officials of the Assam police, an FIR has been lodged over a tweet by Mevani few days ago. However, the tweet has been withheld by Twitter, end quote. Now, according to Jad, Mevani has been booked under criminal conspiracy, promoting enmity between two communities, intentional insult with intent to provoke breach of peace, and sections of the IT Act. Post this, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi termed the arrest as undemocratic and unconstitutional. To protest his arrest, Congress leaders and workers, including the leader of opposition and former Gujarat Congress chief, staged a protest at Sarangpur Circle and raised anti-BJP slogans as well. Moving on to COVID right now, and these are the numbers that India is reporting at this point. We're going to start off with that. India has reported 2,380 new COVID cases and 56 deaths in the last 24 hours. That is 15% higher than what was reported yesterday. India had reported 2,067 new COVID cases yesterday. In the meantime, several states are now bringing back the mask mandate. We had Delhi and 4 districts in Haryana also do that. Now, Punjab has made it mandatory to wear face masks in crowded places. It reported 30 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours. Meanwhile, in Chennai, 12 students at the IIT-Madras campus have tested positive for COVID, prompting Health Secretary J. Radhakrishnan to inspect the campus and to direct officials to sanitize the locality and follow safety guidelines. Now, the first case was detected on the 19th of April, and 2 more students tested positive on the 20th of April, following which the Health Department, the Chennai Municipal Corporation, and the medical team at the IIT-Madras campus took samples of these students. Those who have tested positive, however, have mild COVID symptoms. Also in the news, the subject expert committee of the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization has now recommended biological ease COVID vaccine Corbevax for emergency use authorization in children between the ages of 5 and 12, and this is a report according to the Indian Express. Moving away from COVID right now, a local BJP leader, Jitu Chaudhary, was shot dead outside his Delhi home. According to the police, the victim had gunshot injuries. He was rushed to the hospital and then subsequently declared dead. Now, the accused is still on the run. NDTV has reported that the police have said that a few cartridges have been recovered from the crime scene. Also in the news, and this is extremely distressing news coming in from Odisha, a Dalit man was allegedly made to rub his nose in his own spit after he refused to donate more money for installing a statue of a deity in a temple in Odisha's Kendrapara district. Now, this is according to a police statement which was reported by Hindustan Times. The incident took place last week after Tikari village head Chameli Ojha went to the home of this Dalit man to collect donation for the temple. Now, the police have said that when Malik said he had already contributed, the village head allegedly abused him and his wife. Now, according to India Today, the police inspector in charge of this station limits has said that a case against the village head and other villagers have been filed under the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Act 1989. So far, no arrests have been made. Also in the news, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is on a 2-day visit to India. He met Adani Group's chairman Gautam Adani in Ahmedabad. Johnson has said that he hoped the UK would complete another free trade agreement with India by the end of the year. The UK and Indian businesses are set to announce investments in export deals worth over £1 billion in areas from software engineering to health. There was also a comment that came in on the Ukraine war, and that was much expected because Prime Minister Boris Johnson on Thursday has said that his country has already raised the Ukraine war issue with Prime Minister Modi at a diplomatic level and added that everybody understands that India and Russia shared very different relationships historically. Moving on from this now, focusing on what's really going on in Ukraine. It's day 57 of Russia's invasion in Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Thursday has ordered his troops to block instead of storming Mariupol's steel plant, which remains the last Ukrainian stronghold in the city. Now, he said, and I quote, "There is no need to climb into these catacombs and crawl underground through these industrial facilities. Block off this industrial area so that not even a fly can escape." End quote. Now, this comes after the defense minister told Putin that Mariupol has been liberated. He said, and I quote, "The remaining nationalist formations took refuge in the industrial zone of this steel plant." End quote. Earlier, Putin has described the liberation of Mariupol as a success for Russian forces. In the meantime, according to Reuters, Ukraine's president has said that Ukraine has offered all options to Russia to swap Mariupol citizens for Russian soldiers and is awaiting Moscow's response. Now, Mariupol is the worst affected city, one of the worst affected cities in Ukraine. Thousands of civilians are believed to have died in this city, and up to 2,000 others are also sheltering in this plant without access to drinking water or food. Also, the news, US President Joe Biden has announced an additional $800 million security assistance package for Ukraine. According to the BBC, Biden has said that the aid, including heavy artillery weapons, ammunition, and tactical drones, will be sent directly to the front lines of freedom. In the meantime, here's what's going on in Sri Lanka. India has said that it has delivered one more consignment of 40,000 metric tons of diesel to Sri Lanka under the Indian credit line to help ease the acute power crisis that Sri Lanka is facing at the moment. We've seen protests over the last couple of weeks. In fact, the Indian High Commission has said that a total of 400,000 metric tons of various types of fuel have been delivered so far in the last 2 months. Moving on to sports news, West Indies player Keiron Pollard has announced his retirement from international cricket. However, he will continue in private T20 and T10 leagues across the globe. He's currently playing with Mumbai Indians in the IPL. That brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.